I put something in the air. I put something in the air. My fight check, I am a monozygotic identical twin.
What the does that even mean? I don't even understand what that means.
Hey guys, Jon Anik, voice of the UFC here at the UFC Apex, and this is my fight check. What would your walkout song be? A lot of different directions in which we could go, but you can only pick one walkout song. Break Your Neck, Busta Rhymes. That's the track. Clean version, ideally.
I gotta have it.
What would your nickname be that Bruce Buffer would announce? So probably the Anaconda, right? My last name is Anik, A-N-I-K. So I think we go the nickname on the front end, the Anaconda, Jon Anik. Spelled A-N-I-K-O-N-D-A. Who is your favorite fighter? So as the play-by-play voice for the UFC, this is a question that I would probably plead the fifth on. You know, this is a hard thing for me to pin down one particular fighter. I will just say, as we're here for UFC 296, the fact that Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell stepped up, he's the first name on the tip of my tongue.
Set up a twister. Yep. No way. That's tight. Oh,
y'all know I love Arkansas. I love God, and I love Arkansas.
I don't know how you cannot like Bryce Mitchell. Check out his rap album, Pasture Fire. Who would your rival be, UFC fighter or non-fighter? So I would probably pick one of my broadcast partners for this, but as many of our viewers know, I am a monozygotic identical twin.
What's that?
I am a monozygotic identical twin.
What the does that even mean? I don't even understand what that means.
And I have a human being who shares my exact DNA other than environmental factors. So my rival is my twin brother, Jason Anik on Instagram. He's at Boston Anik, and I think I'd be the favorite in a fight against that dude. Who would be in your corner? 3 max. This is a really hard question, right? My chief corner would be the General Saif Saud out of Fortis MMA. He and I have had a long-standing friendship. Only caveat is he said he would only corner me at 125 pounds. So I do have a lot of weight to cut to get down to flyweight. Also in my corner, my podcast partner, Kenny Florian, to be sure, as sharp an MMA mind as I think there is. And my third corner, last but certainly not least, Dominic Cruz. Without question, we got Dom Cruz in the corner. Most iconic call of your own. So I want to keep the shine on the fighters, right? It's really not about me. I have said repeatedly that the most special moments for me in the broadcast booth are when a non-champion becomes a first-time UFC champion. So I would harken back to Brandon Moreno or Jan Blachowicz. Poland, your guy got it done.
Poland, your guy got it done!
But I think the call I'm most known for is when Leon Edwards broke through against Kamaru Usman, and a few seconds before he landed the head kick, there was this prevailing narrative that maybe he was after a moral victory, and I said at the time, yeah, but that's just not the cloth from which he is cut.
But that is not the cloth from which he is cut. I mean, that is a dejected...
And then there was the Leon Edwards head kick. Perhaps better to be lucky than good in terms of the timing, but I think that's the call that I'm probably best known for. Who is the GOAT? Who is the greatest mixed martial arts athlete of all time? So Khabib Nurmagomedov retired at 29-0, but in terms of his strength of schedule, his title defenses, championship fight wins, pales greatly in comparison to guys like George St. Pierre and John Jones. The best mixed martial arts athlete I have ever seen is John Bones Jones.
Big John Jones, man, look at that.
No one has more title fight wins. John Jones is the greatest mixed martial arts athlete of all time. So the first UFC live event I ever attended was UFC 87 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was there covering the event for ESPN, and that was the night upon which John Jones made his UFC debut against Andre Gusmao. So he was on our radar then. I think when he beat Stephan Bonner, we really thought we were looking at something. But I'll never forget, the night the UFC offered me a job was actually in New Jersey, the night that John Jones broke through and beat Shogun Rua to become the champion. My day started by interviewing John Jones in his hotel room after he had foiled a robbery, and my day ended with my now boss, Craig Borsari, offering me a job backstage to call fights for the combat sports leaders. So yeah, a lot of connective tissue for me and John Jones. Would you have any pre-fight rituals? So I think a lot of them would be similar to some of my pre-broadcast rituals. I certainly try to relax my mind and body. I have yet, at 45 years of age, to find a meditative state. Bruce Buffer's meditating in the locker room. I can't do it.
It's time!
But I run 5 miles on show day. I try to cut some weight, and I think that helps give me some mental clarity. So yeah, I mean, I am a superstitious guy, so I think it would probably be a lot of time in solitude, listening to reggae and hip hop and trying to sort of center my mind. But not too many pre-fight rituals for me right now as a commentator. All right, who is the best dressed fighter in the UFC? I think it's Kamaru Usman, even though we might have some stylistic differences as far as what our closets look like. That's a fashion-forward guy, man. He always looks the part. He takes it seriously. Kamaru Usman is the best dressed fighter in the UFC. How would you celebrate becoming a UFC champion? I put something in the air. No, I think it would be just an overspilling of emotions, right? To finally have accomplished the ultimate goal as a professional athlete. I'll never forget, as I try to find a point of comparison, when Craig Borsari offered me this job that was my dream job at the time, and maybe I didn't even know it, right? Or when I was told late in 2016 that the company was promoting me and making me the lead voice on pay-per-view, and I sort of buckled to my knees, right? I think it would be a similar reaction to that. But yeah, when they told me that I was gonna succeed Mike Goldberg and work with Joe Rogan and become the #1 guy.
And with that, thank you so much for being with us. This is UFC 208. I'm Jon Anik. You know, it's hard to believe it's been less than 4 years since the UFC first introduced a women's division. Now it's hard to imagine a UFC world without them.
I'll never forget that moment. I just put my hands on my knees and just tried to fight back the tears, because I left ESPN. I wouldn't have left ESPN if I didn't think I could ascend to that #1 seed, and thankfully it happened. Thank you all for checking out my Fight Check. You can check out the Anik and Florian podcast twice a week on the DraftKings YouTube channel.
I mean, it makes me think like Bear.
We preview and recap every single UFC live event, and we're coming up on our 9-year anniversary, still going strong, and would appreciate all the support from the UFC fans. And just overall, I'm just so appreciative of this fan base, giving me confidence every time I go to that broadcast booth, just blowing me up and just offering me unconditional support every step of the way. It means a whole lot.